Welcome to Season 3 of the Knack for Business podcast. Over 390 episodes strong, we're here to ignite your entrepreneurial spirit with fresh insights, networking gems, and creative strategies that elevate your game.
From an audience perspective, are you struggling to stand out and grow because you're networking alone? In this episode, Susan will reveal how brand collaboration helps entrepreneurs move from isolation to real connection using strategic networking to boost visibility, attract ideal clients, and grow through heart-centered partnerships. Our guest today is Susan Jarema from Grand Connection. And Susan is the president of New Earth Marketing, co-founder of the Grand Connection, and creator of Brand Align Framework. With 2 degrees in marketing and decades of experience building businesses online, Susan helps heart-centered entrepreneurs attract ideal clients, amplify their visibility, and grow through collaboration. She's passionate about strategic networking and empowering others to create grand connections that lead to grand growth. Grand Connection was conceived of in the Grand Canyon, which is an interesting story. Susan, absolute pleasure having you here. Welcome. And hey, give your favorite quote or saying.
Lovely to be here, Bernie and Wayne. And yes, it was started at the Grand Canyon, a very awe-inspiring place to come up with a great idea. One of my favorite quotes is by Helen Keller. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much.
Tell me about what led you to think there need to be connection and how your origin story, how it got started.
This is a COVID baby. Like many of us, it went virtual over that time. And I was down in Arizona with a good friend and business colleague, Carolyn Cooper, who you guys know as well. And COVID hit Arizona. We were down in Arizona. Arizona declared that state of emergency. I know you can probably remember the time when we didn't know what's going on. And the conference we were to go to was canceled. And so we decided to go to the Grand Canyon. And there we were talking about what's going on and what are our clients going to do. And, at that time, most of our clients were not digital aware. They were doing a few things, maybe the odd Zoom or team meeting, but they definitely weren't running their businesses online like so many people are today. And the idea came to form a community that could support people in learning together. And the first focus, of course, was how do you go online?
So collaboration, why is it such a powerhouse? Some people's personality is just, it's there. You walk into the room, you can't miss them. They're not a wallflower. But collaboration is more than just that. What's behind that?
Look, when I went to business school, it was all about competition, maximizing shareholders' wealth was really, I'd say, what you learn in your MBA? How to maximize shareholders' wealth. That's what they talked about. The competitive space was much bigger back then. Nowadays, the philosophy of collaboration, over competition is what really drives success for people. We're living in a world that's noisy. We're living in a world that's now starting to be taken over by AI. The amount of content out there that you don't know if it's real or not is phenomenal. Real human connection is becoming more and more important. When you're thinking about collaboration, how it's the people you work with that are really what drives the success of your business. And we learn from the people around us. They say it's the people in your life that mirror who you are and allow you to grow as a person. So when we think about collaboration in the business sense, it's really bringing on how can you work together for a win-win where both people have the opportunity to achieve a goal. More people, 1 + 1 = 3 a lot of the time. You can reach other people's audiences. You can share resources. You can learn from each other. The growth, everybody's along a journey. I've learned a lot from you. When you came into our doors, you gave us a lot of advice on how to network and run a community. You can learn from the successes of other people and make your journey go faster.
One thing I know you're very strong on that I never heard a decade ago, tell me about a heart-centered connection.
A heart-centered connection. Our community is very heart-centered. We have an underlying philosophy called grand giving. We are of service first. So you're looking for ways that you can support and help the other people around. So when you're meeting somebody and it's a heart-centered connection, it really is, it's not just, transactional. It's actually creating a heart-to-heart relationship where you get together and you learn about each other. You figure out, where are our values aligned? Where could we possibly work together? And there might be a way that we can collaborate. Before I got on the call today, Bernie, I was thinking, I got some ideas that we could collaborate on heart to heart and help what you're doing in your journey and support some of the members of the Grand Connection. Is all about having that relationship first and being of service to other people.
Brand aligned framework. What can you unveil about brand aligned framework? Curious about that.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I've been doing for 2 decades. I have had a marketing agency, New Earth Marketing. And over time, you're working with clients. I build a lot of websites. I built thousands of them. And the brand aligned framework came up over time of working with clients. Their website is not matching who they are. I get to know them. You start asking a lot of deep questions. What makes you stand out? How are you different from your clients? What are your clients saying about you? What's your superpower? And then you see that the brand that they have, which is not just the website, it's in everything you do, isn't matching, which means you're not going to be attracting the right ideal clients. This has been something I've worked with my clients for decades now. You tighten up deciding who you are and your values, you understand your customer, and then all of the marketing stuff around it, the website, the messaging, your LinkedIn profile, your logo, your introduction that you're doing when you're networking, the value you offer, the service. Your brand is everything. It is everything that comes across to people and what people are seeing and feeling about you. So when that's aligned, you're able to actually, have that resonation that comes out when people see it and hear it and feel it, that they go, this is the right person for me. And that's where you start attracting the right clients. So it's a process that we go through where we dive deep into what that brand is. And then we start working on how to make that brand come across in all of your touch points with your clients. And this has been what I've been doing for a long time. It follows through in what we do with the Grand Connection as well. When you are out connecting and networking, it's a great way for small businesses to start getting visibility quickly and at a low cost. That when you're networking, if your brand is very aligned and tight to what you're doing, so you have clarity on what you're all about, people notice you, they remember you, and that's when they start to refer you. So it just all starts working together. So it's a very nice framework to work on as you get clarity in your networking space. And you learn from networking too. You get feedback from the people around you where you can start tightening up your brand.
I want to learn how to do networking badly. Tell me how it's.
That's a good one, Wayne. Okay, how to do it badly. Come into a room and talk like crazy and take over the room. If you don't have a plan, if you're there and you don't know what to do, don't have anything to share with anybody, just be a taker. That's a way to do it badly. If you reverse all that, you can do it well and have a very good experience networking if you start thinking about what isn't working. You learn what a bad networking is when somebody bugs you. Like you're in a breakout and somebody's really annoying and they take over the room, don't let anyone else talk, or you can tell they're not paying attention when you're talking, or they're not listening. You can feel it. I learn a lot from seeing what other people are doing, what I should not be doing.
Tell me about strategic networking.
I like to be strategic, and that's what we teach at the Grand Connection. We have the 6 grand principles of networking. Having a plan when you do anything is really important, and to be strategic in what you do in all of your marketing. Marketing without a strategy is like throwing your darts all over the house and hitting whatever you want. Could hit your sister. I did do that actually.
Different type of networking.
We have to be more careful with those darts. So having the strategy behind whatever you do in business makes things work. When you're going to come to your first networking session, have that intention of, okay, why am I here? What's my plan? Maybe your plan is, I need to get feedback on a project. So that's what you're listening for or talking about. Or maybe your plan is, I've got an event coming up next week and I would like to find a few partners that can help me promote it, that can be strategic around that. Another thing is understanding the types of people that are good for you to partner with. We talk about a referral circle and the collaboration circle at the Grand Connection. And your referral circle are those people that could be possible referral partners in your life. So those would be people that they have a problem that you notice and that you can solve. So those would be people that would send you referrals. And then there's people that you notice a problem and you could send them referrals. A lot of people are both, myself with my web design business, a coach notices their client needs a website. And I notice that a client needs a coach to get some clarity on their life, vision, purpose, and passion. So that's a perfect reciprocal referral partner. Have that idea of, okay, this is my circle. These are the people I want to meet. And we also talk about, because the Grand Connection is about collaboration, is that collaboration circle. So that circle of people that you can collaborate with. There's some other podcasts that I could do podcast swaps with, and some people I want to be on their stages. Maybe these are the people I might want to write a book with. Maybe I'm going to do a course with these kind of people. So you start mapping that out. I just like to put it on a piece of paper and draw a circle, and then I break it into little pies, and that's my plan. You come in with that plan, and when you're meeting people, have that intention to be really clear. For the bad networker, good networker, listen. You're there to listen. When you find someone that fits your strategy, ask if you can have a one-on-one. That's where the magic happens, is afterwards, when you get that time to connect and really learn about them. Be purposeful.
In your journey, do you find when you're setting up the networking, do you capitalize on affiliations? In other words, person one or business one to business two, and find a client. Is that something you encourage, that there's a reciprocal arrangement, whether it's dollars, services?
So you're talking about, do we do a referral system? We aren't, at the Grand Connection, we aren't tracking the dollars that we use. We use a referral app so I can see the connections I've made. We're more about heart-centered connections, finding those connections where we can support and help each other. There are some members that are tracking referrals, and in our membership hub, we'll put their referral fees that they offer people. But we're not like a BNI. It's more about organic growth, connections, finding those collaborative partners, and that giving mindset. You're not worrying about, if I'm giving somebody a referral, are they going to give it back to me? We're just of service to each other, and it seems to work out in the long run.
So what do you use for metrics then to measure? You're not looking at, I just gave you a lead and give me $1. But what metrics do you look for in the community that you can do to reinforce, in a positive way, behavior, and also encourage people to become part of the Grand Connection? How do you do that measurement? How do you gauge that impact?
I guess it's the stories I hear. I do have an opportunity for members to share their success stories at the events. We spotlight members, and they can share what they've done with other members in the group. Some of them are hard to put a dollar sign on. Like, you might have a service swap where they each, a nutritionist helped create a program for one that helped them get healthy again. Like, what's the value of that? And then vice versa, they set up their Go High Level account, so got their funnels in place. They've had a lot of service swaps. So I guess I myself, as a leader, I track the stories. I'm always making a little list. So that's a great story. We want to share that with other people, because it also gives people ideas of what they can do themselves and what they can be looking for. Circling back to the intention, when you have more ideas of how could we possibly collaborate, that makes it, when you have a meeting, you say, we could do this, so we could do this. It's a brainstorming session. But when you first get started, you may not know all the different ways that you could possibly work together. When we do our giveaways and stuff like that, and you've probably participated in them, there's a leaderboard. We're tracking how many people invite people to different things. When we have mixers, which are collaborations in themselves, we know how many people have invited different people. So you get a sense of who's collaborating and participating. Everybody knows it's fully transparent. So you see what everybody's doing to support each other. There's numbers on social media. You can see numbers of shares and stuff, but we do not currently have one of those tracking referrals that people see the dollar amounts on. We're just more about the organic growth from collaboration.
Just as a quick caveat and full transparency, I'm a member of Grand Connection. And so from Grand Connection, just for our audience sake, so you folks understand that pandemic rolls around, Bernie's now on Zoom, Bernie now connects with people in the UK, Europe, South Africa, US, and Australia. So it was a great leap point for myself to cross connect with a whole bunch of other interesting individuals. Wayne, over to you.
There is a belief, which I don't share, and I'm reasonably sure you don't as well, is now that we have AI, we'll just have my chatbot talk to your chatbot. We don't need people or connections anymore. What's your take on that?
I try to play with these chatbots a little bit and ask them questions that will stump them. They come into my LinkedIn profile and they're kind of annoying. You're like, okay, that person, that's so not real. Like, my sister said that you should do this. Oh, tell me more about your sister. And then they don't know what to say because they don't really have the sister programmed in. I'm seeing this all the time, and we're just at the beginning of it. So how do we deal with it? And I have people showing me tools that are really powerful for my lead generation that uses AI. And I'm thinking, whoa, maybe I could reach more people doing that, right? And you've got this dual side of things of, yeah, I want to take advantage of the tool, but I also hate the tool when it's being used on me. Oh, it's difficult. And I do see this trend. We're using my most trusted white label version of our referral app that we're using for the Grand Connection. The growth in people connecting through people they know, asking for introductions, warm introductions through people that are on the referral app with them, other people they know trust. And it uses AI, but the AI is just used to match you. So you still are doing the personal relationship afterwards. Those things are working. So if you can take AI, use it for good, use it to make yourself more productive, help you find a match that might be better. But then the next step is that personal touch. That's going to be all the power to you. And that's where you're going to just start seeing the world change. And it's changing. Like, I'm really feeling the difference in the need for a personal connection now. I think the new way of growth is going to be through collaboration and connection.
One thing, Sandra, that you have is a toolkit. Tell me about the toolkit and how you get people to see them and use them.
Our toolkit being at the Grand Connection. Bernie, you probably don't even know about all the things we're doing at the Connection because it's very grand around here. And there's so many things. I'm now doing onboarding calls with new members and I have a checklist. Bernie, feel free to come back for a second onboarding. I
Sure.
have to come up with a name for it. We go through a checklist of all the things that are going on. I have a web page that's all of the tools that we have discounts on. And I have a web page that I show them that's got all of the other member benefits that are being shared from member to member. And then we have all of the collaborations that are going on. So that kind of gives people, you can go and scroll through these things and kind of go, okay, this is for me, this is for me. And there are no rules here. So it's pick and choose what works best for you. So my onboarding works well. The checklist works well. Meeting with other people. We have a discovery session too that one of our members runs for us that she goes through for people who are brand new or curious and have more questions about the Grand Connection, everything that's going on. So it gives you an idea to ask questions one-on-one. And I now have Grandy, my new AI bot. You guys can try it out. I've programmed Grandy with my own tone and everything, and it's got a little humor. So you can talk to Grandy to learn a little bit more and see what you might be missing in the Grand Connection. He will tap into the whole list of all things. It's always changing. We just recently added a new collaboration for launching your book. So what we do is, it's just called a book launch shout out. When you have your book, you put the date where you're trying to get more people to come and you put that date on there and all the book information. There's a nice form. And then we will actually share that through our marketing channels for you on the day of your launch. So you get more signups and have a better chance of getting bestseller status. Bernie, you probably didn't know about that.
No, but you know what? I am using the affiliation you have with the company that does Zoom, getting the enterprise level Zoom at a really good rate.
Yeah. Do you know about our Go High Level partnership now? So that one's a new big. Anybody thinking about Go High Level, come check out the Grand Connection because it is the most fabulous deal you will ever find on Go High Level.
Interesting. So more, see, there's that heart-centered moments all kind of coming together. Just, So tell us about the edu networking space.
I invented that word. Just like I hear it being used everywhere, and I'm going, that's my word. I brought that word to the world about 10 years ago. I call it edu networking because we're networking. We're here to meet, and we always have a couple of breakouts in every meeting. But there is a theme. We have monthly themes throughout the year based on skills we need to always be working on. So we go through and there's some leadership skills, there's mindset skills, there's marketing skills, all of these ones. And we kind of go through a journey through the monthly themes. And then we have the grand groups, which are all organized around a topic of interest for collaboration. But every event, there's some learning component. A member might come in as a guest speaker and share their skills on doing better presentations and how to do the backgrounds and the technology. A lot of members have been showing us AI. Wayne, I could tell you're loving AI. Loving or hating it. And they showed us, like, I learned how to do my first my first own GPT using Chat GPT from a member. They came and did a demo. And now we're learning, we got somebody showing N8N. So we're going to learn that next week. So those are all the things that are, we leveling up our skills all the time from other people. So that's edu networking. We're learning, we're growing. Everybody's a grand learner at the Grand Connection. And we also form those grand connections at the same time.
There's a word that has different meanings. It has a legal meaning that we're not going to use, which is partnership. I'm not talking about people actually becoming legal partners of yours, but how do you partner up with people to get a 10X? How do you collaborate instead of compete? Who do you collaborate with as a rule?
For us, we collaborate. My biggest collaboration are my mixers. I partner with other often very much larger than ourselves, networking organizations or business communities or platforms that may have a significant following and people around them that it's a similar audience. So I'm looking for people who reach the same audience to partner with, but we're not fully competing. Now, other networking groups, maybe there's some sort of overlap there, but I know that we all love to play in more than one playground. I did a poll once, and most members tend to belong to about 3 business communities at a time. So I feel comfortable that our home is a great home and that you can have other playgrounds to go to and hang out in. So we bring in and partner with other groups, and we do these mixers. The bonus for them is they get very good visibility through our community. Everybody will hear about them through the email blast, the social media, being in the membership hub. And at the mixer, they get a spotlight and are able to share the value of their community and an offer. And the win for the members is that we get to meet a whole bunch of new people, which is fabulous. Bernie, you've been to our mixers, right?
Yep. No problem meeting new people. I must be doing
No.
something right in the networking. I'm not turning them off.
Yeah, no, you're doing good. I'm sure you meet a lot of people. And you're a great facilitator. I mean, you supported us in facilitating the groups long ago at the beginning, too. This is your wheelhouse, collaboration, connection, and you help others learn how to do that as well. So grateful to people like you that lead others in this community.
Being a member, it's easy when you're enjoying the space you're in and you're working with people that have the same mindset. New members. A lot of times, especially if you've never networked before, and I remember retiring from the corporate world and into the networking world. I'm like, where do I begin? What do I say? They're obvious, your name, what you do, but there's a bit more to that. How do you help on board members coming into the space that have a sense of things that are good to do, but they haven't refined it yet?
So when someone new comes through, sometimes they're quite nervous. At the events, we try to welcome everyone. And I can sense they won't go into the breakouts because they are really new. And they'll come on their camera after some probing and say, hey, where are you zooming in from? We'll have a conversation. Everybody else is in a breakout. This is me one-on-one with the person left in the main room. They say, this is my first time at one of these events. I don't know what to do. I share with them how we all have been the first time in these rooms before. When I first started, I didn't know how to use Zoom properly. I made so many mistakes. How many times did we send people into the same breakout room? We forgot to refresh the rooms. Yeah, we were doing that all the time. We're all learning, and it's that understanding and empathy from everyone around you that makes it a welcoming, friendly space. I'll usually put them in a room with some people that I know are super friendly, and they just get going. And I see the journey. I see them start from they have no background, their camera's bad, their microphone's crackling. We coach them through. I have a lot of documents I can send them. Here's a tip sheet on setting yourself up for your first meeting. When you register, it'll say, need some help, go here, so that it gets people set up for success. But you learn. You actually just learn right away through the, going out and talking to people and seeing what works and what doesn't work. I did have somebody, I was talking to her on the phone a couple of days ago, and she said, I haven't been to any breakouts. I'm really feeling uncomfortable. Everybody knows how to do these Zoom backgrounds and they are able to use the chat. And I just said, you know what, let's have a one-on-one. I will show you exactly how to do all of these things. She's learning, hasn't worked virtually ever. She's always done things in person. It is a big shift. So I think just getting going and starting, we have a lot of trainings on it. I do the one-on-ones. A lot of the members will do a one-on-one with you too when they meet with you and just ask, say, hey, I'm new to this. And everybody's going to just want to help you.
So what would be the first thing that one could do, the first thing a person could do to grow a network with Grand Connection?
I would book my one-on-one with me. and come up with your strategy on who you want to meet. So you want to figure out who you want to meet. And then I actually have another little GPT I made, because I did learn how to do this. I'm thinking about them all the time now on how to do the matching algorithm to write your description. If you guys are using the My Most Trusted, there's a part where you put in who do you want to meet. My GPT takes you through a bunch of questions, and I can do this with you in person. When you make a GPT, you're putting in your personal reasons and your framework and how you come up with an idea. We go through who's the right kind of person and who's your audience and how do you narrow that down into who do you want to meet. And so, we could use the GPT, we could talk about it, but finding that who do you want to meet. And then I show them how to use the referral app, which is after you've used it once or twice, it's super easy, but it could seem overwhelming. There's some training sessions too on it where you can go and meet with some of our trainers and they can give you one-on-ones on that too. And, just start meeting people. I will set you up with a couple of connections after I know who you want to meet, then meet with 2 people in the community right away. You have an introduction, you book your one-on-one with them and get going. It just blossoms the number of connections. It's hard to keep up with them all because you have so many now, and it will grow. It's just getting started, meeting people and having that clarity and intention on who are the right people for you to collaborate with, or the right people that would be referral partners and clients. They are slightly different. So you're looking for different types of people for all of those.
What you just said was powerful, but it went by so fast.
Start out with an intention on who you want to meet. Get the tools in place that are going to help you succeed. For instance, the referral app. Come to some events, sign up and register for a couple of events. Have with you an introduction so you can practice and get a memorable little introduction so that when you meet people, they'd understand who you are. Share with people who you want to meet. And be ready to have a calendar invite so that you can start booking those meetings with people.
So where do you see the future within the Grand Connection space? You've been in place since 21, 22. There's been a bit of an evolution over the last few years. Where do you see the next part of the journey of the evolution?
Oh, it just sort of comes. Everything just evolves and grows. Our groups are growing. We're getting more groups. We are bringing in partners with different regional partners. So we're going to have Grand Connection Australia, Grand Connection Europe starting out. So that's going to come, which will have different time zones of some events that will suit those people. So I think more on having the community be part of the experience of running the Grand Connection. I'm doing partnership sharing programs too. So we're going to be sharing the profits with some of the leaders in the community. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lovely growth and to reach people in different parts of the world in the time zones that work for them will make the group even more collaborative, because the more people that are of the right collaborative heart space that we are in and mindset, it just makes it better. And I guess also having come in the last sort of year, we've become a little more clear of what it is and who the people are that we're attracting. And it makes it easier to reach the same type of people too. And that happens in all businesses.
Susan, who's your ideal client?
We have learners and leaders. People can be at a totally different space in their business. Somebody can be a brand new person. They've worked in a corporate, gone through a shift, and they have decided to go out on their own. Then maybe they'd been in HR or something like that. And they've got some really great skills in what they've been doing. And now they want to run their own business as a consultant. They don't have any business skills, but they have a phenomenal amount of leadership and emotional intelligence skills and all the things that they've been using while they were at their work. So they got things they can share in their expertise, but they might want to run a book and they don't know anything about it. So they're going to start learning those skills around it. We're all learners and leaders in different things. Some people come in who have been running their own communities and they're an expert in business skills and have been doing trainings in business, and they come in as a leader and they may lead a group. So we have both coming together and both support each other in different ways. So I'd say the main thing that makes it the same is the philosophy of collaboration and being a grant giver. It's really that underlying values that pull us together on how we want to work together and have an impact on the world. Everybody in the community really want to make a difference. Just like you guys sharing so much value through this podcast to other people. That's why we have the same values. You guys have been doing in the business space for a long time. Wayne, you've been a consultant for decades and you know a lot, both of you. I've been listening to your podcast And you have so many skills to share with the world. And you're coming in from that space, but you're still part of the community because you have the right heart.
And if this resonates, if somebody says, I could use more of that, how do we get a hold of you, Susan?
Go to grandconnection.ca. You can find me on LinkedIn. My name is really easy to find. There's not many with my name combination. So you'll find me on LinkedIn. I love to connect on LinkedIn. Grandconnection.ca is our website. And at the bottom, there's a little button where you can get a free pass. Come to our events. I'm always at the mixers. I do my mini meets too. So you can sign up for my mini meets and meet me in person live and just come and experience it all. It's easy to find us.
I want to say thank you to Susan, Wayne, and you, the Knack for Business listeners. Really appreciate your time today. If you're in business and you're feeling a little bit isolated, you need to make that connection, or you're gregarious already, which is totally fine too, but you need another circle of people around you to expand your market space, reach out to the Grand Connection. It's a perfect environment. I found myself making more connections in there, and it has just reaped bounty over and over, manyfold.
To reach the podcast hosts, email them at info@creativeinsight.com or by the website creativeinsight.com, spelled KREATIVINSIGHT.com. To reach Wayne at his email, wayne@motivateu.ca, that is MOTIVE, the numeral 8 and the letter U.ca, or his website, motivateu.ca. If you would like to be a guest on this podcast and share your knowledge, let us know. We would also appreciate your feedback on the content or format. Check the show notes for more details. For these podcasts, we like to acknowledge the support and thanks to the following people. Carl Richards from Podcast Solutions Made Simple, a renowned podcast expert. Fred Crouch, who is the Property Wizard podcaster, where Bernie is a co-host. Jovan Strika from Hive, a co-working space that is more than just a space. Then Melanie Weber, Bernie's invaluable business partner. And Wayne Pratt from Motivate You Inc., who serves as both a coach and co-host of these podcasts. Disclaimer: please note that the Knack for Business podcast episodes are meant solely for educational and general informational purposes. The information and opinions contained within are not intended to be professional advice on any subject matter. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed by the participants are their own personal beliefs and do not represent the views of the podcast hosts or any affiliated organizations. It is important to note that this podcast is not a replacement for consulting with certified experts in your area who possess knowledge of your unique situation. The hosts of the podcast, along with any participants or affiliated groups, do not take responsibility for any actions taken or not taken based on the information presented in this episode. It is highly recommended that individuals seek guidance from their own personal advisors in fields such as accounting, law, or other pertinent areas prior to undertaking any actions or making decisions that may impact their financial, legal, or other aspects of life.